Hello, 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 Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransurfingTV, y'all. This is going to be kind of a fun one today. Are you crazy or are you enlightened? I've actually had a number of people ask me in the past few years if I'm crazy. And I'm like, maybe. I just might be. But I'm more likely enlightened, or at least on the path, right, where I'm gaining some enlightenment, shedding a lot of programming and standards, right, that the pendulum's asked us to adhere to, like separating from these standards and kind of going your own way and doing your own thing. You always run the risk of being labeled crazy. And, I've been called crazy in like a lot of ways in my life that later sort of proved that I was onto something. Like different businesses that I've started, or even doing this with transurfing, right? When I first started doing this, people were like, what are you doing? Like, that's crazy. You have a thriving business, you make money. Why would you give it up to promote something that is like esoteric and obscure, and people thought it was totally nuts. But look at now, like, look what's happened after, this extended time that I've been doing this. I've sort of proven, not only to myself, but to my environment, that heart and mind coordination that I was feeling about doing this has helped me to materialize a version of reality where I'm like living the dream, It's funny with me getting this studio, this has been a really amazing evolution for me in getting to the point where I would even consider doing something like this. I was so terrified to talk on camera just 2 years ago. And the fact now that I'm evolving to the point where I needed a studio, and now I look forward so much to coming in here and just like turning the camera on and filming and dancing around, for those of you that have seen my dancing videos, making my content, preaching the good word of reality transurfing, right? And like loving this creative space and this world that I've created for myself. Like, I've absolutely carved out a little layer of reality that is absolutely in line with my soul Frail, which I'll get more into shortly. And I can definitely see why some people would think that I'm nuts, right? I definitely don't have a conventional lifestyle by any stretch of the imagination, and yet I'm thriving and I'm succeeding, and whatever I choose to do, I'm making it work for me in my own way, going against the standards of the pendulums that are, out there trying to get me to adhere to a certain script. And this is really what this video is going to be about. This is about shedding this idea, shedding this stereotype, really, that if you divert from the standards that are prevalent in the external environment, in our external environment, in our society, in our world, in our family dynamic, in our dynamic with our partner, in all the different ways in which we have to sort of mold ourselves to fit in, that you can, in fact, break out of that stuff. And yes, you are going to be called crazy. Absolutely, you are absolutely going to be called crazy. And this is okay, right? Because I am certain that any great thinker, I'm certain that any person, including many of you, have already chosen to sort of walk your own path. I'm certain that you've been labeled crazy, or irresponsible or some other derogatory word that is, there's an objective there to get you to file back in line and go back into the script of convention, right? And I think all the big guys have experienced this, right? But this, in my opinion, this dualistic way of approaching going your own path, right? And carving out your own thing regardless of what the pendulum puts in your direction to try to get you to straighten up, and continuing on with what it is you feel a calling to do regardless of what your external environment's telling you. It's really quite easy, but I'm going to run through a few things here to consider if either you are in a position where you're doing your own thing and people are calling you crazy, or you want to move into a space of enlightening yourself, right? And getting more dialed into your soul frail and being prepared if you have not yet started your journey in this direction of enlightenment, right? And you want to maybe take some of the things that I'm going to say today and use them as protection, because remember, the pendulums are going to convince you that something is wrong with you, and there's not. And I am walking proof of this. Before I get more into it, remember to subscribe to this channel and like this video and comment below and join us on the Facebook group and Instagram, reality_transurfing. Teachable courses, Reality 2.0 and Tufty 2.0 down below. Check it out, y'all. Okay, so here's the deal with either being crazy or being enlightened, as I see it from my perspective. So as Vadim Zeland says in Reality Transurfing steps 1 through 5, very, very clearly, he says, you can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody, right? As long as you're not hurting anybody. And I'll get to this one more in a moment. But this also includes yourself, right? This also includes yourself. So you can act as outrageously as you want to. You can make as crazy big moves, doing wild things, taking risks, whatever you want to do in your life, as long as you're not injuring yourself. Obviously, physically, duh. Also, with, your finances, your emotional health. So this is kind of where it really starts to merge over to enlightenment for me, is the more outrageous I get in my reality. And when I say outrageous, I simply mean that I'm not adhering to the standards that the pendulums have set up for me. I've completely diverted from the conventional script. Most scripts, I'm choosing wild scripts that I feel really have no blueprint. And I'm just kind of flying into the alternative space, really just absolutely balls out, like living it, right? And in this state, I'm continuing to be productive and evolve, not only as a person, but my finances, my stability with my lifestyle, my security with my lifestyle, my knowledge is growing. A lot of relationships have fallen off, but the ones that I do have are nourished and flourishing and healthy, and I'm happy in these relationships. And all of my different parts of my reality that I have chosen to be part of my script, right? My set and decorations, rather, the layer of reality that I have chosen for myself, everything is well maintained, healthy, taken care of, and evolving. Room for growth, positive reinforcements coming back, all the good stuff. So it doesn't matter how outlandish I act or what I do to create any sort of effect with this or my other businesses that I do, or expressing myself creatively. This is a big one, right? And this is really where I think if you want to deviate in any way from what it is you're experiencing right now, or if you want to create a higher experience of reality for yourself, and this means deviating from something, as long as you keep in mind this first step, right? That, or this first thought, are you maintaining productivity and evolving as a person? You can do whatever you want, right? But remember, it's about evolution, not degradation. So keeping in mind that the path is forward and up and continuing with your evolution regardless of how crazy you are or what it is you're doing. And then that brings me on to 2, which I just touched on. Are you hurting anyone else? So again, as Vadim Zeland says in the book, you can do anything you want. You can do absolutely anything you want as long as you aren't hurting anyone. So I'm sure Jesus Christ was labeled as crazy. Of course he was, right? He wasn't hurting people. He was helping people, right? There's been lots of great leaders throughout history or great thinkers who were absolutely labeled as crazy, especially when they were, participating in even mild heresy, right? Where they're speaking against the pendulums or the standards of the pendulums. Absolutely, the pendulum's going to call you out 100%. But as long as what it is you're doing, what it is you're saying, the actions you're taking, what it is you're facilitating, your intention, as long as it's not hurting anyone or hurting yourself, freaking have at it, right? Have at it. And this is the reality that I live in now. And oh my God, it's an absolute blast. As I was saying earlier, I come in here into this studio and I go nuts. I dance around. I find cool parts in the book that I want to give lessons on. I get crazy on my social media. I'm like having an awesome time. And there are still moments where I stop and I'm like, oh my God, this is absolutely crazy. And then I'm like, I'm not hurting anybody. And I'm evolving and I'm productive. I'm creating my own reality and I'm having a lot of fun. So I definitely feel this is the path to enlightenment, right? So 3, are you truly living the life that you want to live? This is a big question to ask yourself. If you are sort of in a spot where you're like, well, I'm not really feeling crazy or enlightened, right? I'm just living my life. And getting into this question, and I know I throw this one out there a lot, very casually, and it's a lot easier, like, for me to ask this than for you, especially if you're challenged right now to live the reality that you really, really want to live. I know this is like, it's kind of an unfair question, but are you truly living life right now in the manner that you really, really want? And are you staying safe because you are maybe fearful or reluctant of those pendulums reaching out to you and labeling you, or a family member saying, what the hell are you doing? Are you crazy? Or a spouse, not being supportive of you and trying to get you to file your place back in line. So this is where, this is where making some decisions might come into your layer of reality, making some new choices. Are you living the life you truly want to live? And if not, are you okay with being labeled crazy if you do something else? There is so much damn freedom in this. It is unbelievable. Now on to number 4. Are you dialed in to your soul frail? I never knew that my soul frail was this damn crazy. I think that if people saw me in this community, those of you watching the videos at home, I think if you saw me, maybe not 10 years ago, because right around my 30s, I did start to let loose a little bit and I was doing some pretty wild stuff. But like in my 20s, when I was really trying to get my business up and going and I felt that I needed to be very buttoned up and very proper. And, I've told the story of like me going to trade shows in my business, doing the whole thing the way that I thought everybody wanted to see me, right? And I ended up coming off as very rigid and stiff and cold and robotic. And somebody even said to me one day, dude, what is your deal? You were like fucking weird, because I wasn't me. I was pretending to be a version of something that I thought the pendulum wanted to see in order for me to achieve success. Little did I know there was so much more success in absolutely dialing to my soul frail, not only financially, but just with freedom and allowing myself to be me. A lot of these little videos that I'm doing of me dancing, this is really just me coming out, right? I'm still in the process of coming out. And yeah, a lot of people could see those and think like, this chick is nuts, right? This chick is nuts. Why is she doing this? But it is me tuning to my soul frail. When I was young, I actually had I was extremely self-conscious. I was very introverted. I was a total loner. I had few friends. I was very shy. And I was a total outcast. I didn't know how to fit into anything. And I remember one day a friend of mine was dancing at her house and she was like, come on, dance with me, dance with me. And I was like, no, I can't dance. I don't know how to dance. And she's like, come on, dance. And I got up and I tried, and her sister was there and her sister's friend, and they laughed at me and I got so embarrassed and I sat down. She was like, no, I'll teach you how to dance. And I tried to do it and I just couldn't. And I spent, that like kind of marred me a little bit. And I spent a good portion of my childhood, my teenage years, being very scared to dance anywhere. I was very, very, very just inside. I was trapped, So right now when I'm dancing, that's me letting that part of myself out. I actually enjoy it. And never in a million years would I have thought that I was going to be dancing on YouTube in my freaking 40s. Oh my God. Even just saying it now. And again, a lot of people could call me nuts for doing it. But you know what? This is me tuning to my soul frail. And in my transurfing practice, from my transurfing perspective, the more I tune to that soul frail, the more enlightened I become. So you know what? I really don't care if people think that it's crazy. I'm having fun. I love it. If people don't like it, they don't have to watch it. It's me letting myself out of that box and tuning to my soul frail. So call me crazy, right? Call me crazy. I'm totally okay with that. So number 5, as I wrap this video up, are you happy? Are you happy? And I know this kind of comes back to like number 3, are you truly living the life you want? It's a big, broad question, but are you happy? And as I was driving here today, thinking about giving this lesson and the different lessons that I'm going to film today, I'm like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I'm absolutely happy. I've never been happier in my life. I've got an amazing community of people around me. The relationships in my life are good and healthy, and I feel good about myself. I love myself. I'm creative. I've got the creator spark, exactly what Vadim Zeland was talking about. And I'm living my damn life the way that I want to live it. And it is the most awesome feeling ever that I've ever had. And I'm so happy. So the bottom line, to wrap it all up, I really don't care if people think that I'm crazy. I'm loving life. I'm creative. I'm happy. I'm productive. I'm evolving. I'm healthy. I sleep well at night. My skin and my nails and my hair and my glow and my vitality and my energy and all that stuff is going. It's good. So it is what it is. It absolutely is what it is. I think I'm on the path to enlightenment. I could also wake up in a psychiatric hospital a week from now and probably wonder what the fuck happened. Somebody said, oh, you had a psychotic break, Renee. You were filming videos and you just kind of lost it. But you know what? I'm okay with that too. So let me know your thoughts. Are you crazy? Is somebody labeling you crazy? Are you enlightened? Do you want to be a little more crazy? Do you want to be a little more enlightened? Did you like this video? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts, everybody. And thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.